let's dive in. Today, we're going to be tackling cryptocurrency.
Specifically Solana.
Solana. Okay. Now, I know crypto can feel like a whole other language sometimes.
Yeah.
But by the end of this deep dive,
You'll be fluent.
you'll be fluent. Exactly.
Yep.
We'll break down everything from blockchain to smart contracts, dApps,
Even things called Solana actions.
Solana actions. Okay. So first things first, let's talk blockchain. What's the big deal? How does it relate to cryptocurrency?
So imagine a digital ledger that records every single transaction.
Every single one.
But instead of being kept in one place,
Right.
it's distributed across a massive network of computers. That's essentially what a blockchain is.
So it's like a public record
Yeah.
that can't be tampered with.
Exactly. And because it's decentralized,
Meaning?
no single entity controls it.
Got it.
It's incredibly difficult to manipulate.
Okay, so that's where cryptocurrency comes in.
Exactly. It's the digital asset being transacted and tracked on this blockchain.
Makes sense. So we've got this revolutionary way of keeping records.
Yeah.
Cryptocurrency is what we're exchanging on it.
Yeah.
But then I hear terms like coins and tokens thrown around.
Right.
What's the difference?
Good question. So every blockchain has its own native coin. It's the primary unit of value.
Okay.
For Solana, that coin is SOL.
SOL.
Think of it like the currency of the Solana ecosystem.
The currency, all right.
Tokens, on the other hand, are built on top of an existing blockchain like Solana.
Okay.
They can represent a wide range of things. We're talking digital art, voting rights in a decentralized organization, even access to certain services.
So SOL is like the main currency.
Yeah,
And people can create these specialized tokens for different purposes within Solana.
exactly. It's like having custom tools and resources within this digital world.
Got it. And that brings us to
Smart contracts.
smart contracts. Yes, I've heard that term a lot.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm not sure I totally get what they do.
So essentially, they're agreements written in code that automatically execute on the blockchain when certain conditions are met. Imagine buying a digital artwork online.
Okay. Yeah.
A smart contract could automatically transfer ownership of that artwork to you.
Once you've paid.
Exactly, without the need for any intermediary.
So they're like self-executing contracts.
You got it.
That's efficient, cuts out the middleman.
Precisely. And these smart contracts,
Yeah.
they're the foundation for something else you mentioned.
Yeah.
Decentralized applications, or dApps.
Apps. Okay, break those down for me.
Think of them as applications that run on blockchain technology. They use smart contracts to offer a bunch of different services. Decentralized marketplaces, prediction markets, even social media platforms.
So instead of relying on, say, a company
Yeah,
to run the app and manage your data,
right.
it's all powered by the blockchain and these smart contracts.
Exactly. And this is where things get really interesting with Solana.
Okay, how so?
They have something called Solana actions.
Solana actions. I haven't heard of this.
It basically makes blockchain transactions accessible from anywhere on the internet.
From anywhere, not just within a specific app.
Not just within an app, no. It all comes down to these things called blockchain links, or blinks. Imagine clicking a link on social media, and that lets you instantly donate to a charity
Wow.
or buy an NFT.
Hold on. So I could be like scrolling through my feed and suddenly buy an NFT
Yes.
just by clicking a link. I wouldn't need to open a separate app or anything.
That's the idea.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see how Solana is pushing the boundaries here.
Right.
But before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's talk about Solana itself. What makes it stand out in the crypto world? There are so many different blockchains out there.
The main thing is speed.
Speed.
Solana is built for speed, scalability, and affordability. It can handle thousands of transactions per second.
Serious.
This makes it perfect for applications that need real-time responsiveness. Things like gaming or high-frequency trading.
So when they say Solana is fast,
They mean it.
they mean it.
We're talking transactions processed in a fraction of a second,
Wow.
with fees that are incredibly low,
Like how low?
often fractions of a penny.
That's wild compared to some other blockchains I've heard of.
It's a game changer.
So we've got speed, we've got affordability. What's the secret behind all this?
It comes down to their consensus mechanism called proof of history.
Proof of history. Okay, I'm going to need you to break that down for me.
Imagine a clock
Okay.
that creates a timestamp for every single transaction.
For every single one.
Yes, it creates an undisputed order of events. This really streamlines the validation process.
And that's what makes Solana so fast.
It's one of the keys, yes.
So it's like a timekeeping system that keeps everything running smoothly.
You could say that.
This is impressive stuff.
Right.
But what about security? How does Solana make sure the network is safe from attacks?
That's where validators come in.
Validators, okay, tell me more.
They're the ones who process transactions.
Right, and verify the proof of history sequence.
So they're like the guardians of the network.
I like that, yeah. Guardians of the network.
Okay, I like that too. So how do they become validators?
You have to stake a certain amount of SOL.
Stake.
Then I lock it up as collateral.
Ah, so if they try to cheat the system,
they risk losing their stake.
That's a good incentive to play by the rules.
Right. And the more SOL a validator stakes, the more influence they have on the network.
So it's like a built-in security measure.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. Blockchain basics to this incredibly sophisticated system with lightning-fast transactions and built-in security.
And we're just getting started.
It's clear that Solana is really pushing the limits of what blockchain can do.
Absolutely.
We haven't even talked about the whole ecosystem of dApps being built on Solana, or things like Solana Actions and blockchain links.
Right. There's so much more to explore.
Well, luckily, we've got more time to unpack all of that, but that's a conversation for our next segment, so stay tuned. Welcome back to our deep dive into Solana.
It's amazing to think how far we've come from the early days of the internet.
Right, from static web pages to the rise of social media giants, it's been a wild ride.
It really has.
But now, with Web3 on the horizon, it feels like we're entering a whole new era.
It does feel like a major shift is happening. This whole idea of Web3 taking power away from those big platforms and giving it back to individuals.
Exactly.
It's pretty revolutionary.
Absolutely. Web3 is all about reimagining the internet, making it more open, more equitable, more user-centric.
Okay, and Solana plays a key role in this.
A big one.
I get that Web3 is about decentralization.
Yeah.
But I'm still not totally clear on how Solana actually contributes to that.
So for starters, Solana is designed to be censorship resistant.
Okay.
There's no single entity calling the shots.
Right.
This makes it way more resilient and democratic. Plus, its low fees and fast transaction speeds make it accessible to a wider range of users.
So it's like democratizing access to blockchain technology, making it available to pretty much anyone.
Anyone with an internet connection.
That's huge for fostering innovation and creating a truly decentralized ecosystem.
Right. One where individuals have more control over their data and their digital assets.
This is all sounding very idealistic.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to see how this actually plays out in the real world. Can you give me some concrete examples of how Solana is being used to build this decentralized future?
Absolutely. Let's start with decentralized finance, or DeFi.
DeFi, okay.
One of the most exciting things happening on Solana.
What's that all about?
We're talking about platforms that offer lending, borrowing, and trading services, all without the need for traditional intermediaries.
Like banks.
Exactly.
So it's like cutting out the middleman in the financial world.
Exactly. DeFi on Solana gives people more direct control over their money.
More transparency, lower fees.
Often, yes.
That's pretty disruptive.
It is.
What other areas are being impacted by this wave of decentralization?
NFTs are another big one.
NFTs, right? They've exploded recently.
Solana's speed and low fees make it perfect for creating and trading these unique digital assets.
Okay, I can see how that would be a game changer.
Whether it's digital art, collectibles, or even virtual real estate.
Yeah, artists and creators can connect directly with their audience.
Right.
Cut out the middleman, have more control over their work.
Exactly. And with things like Solana Actions and blockchain links,
right, we talked about those.
Buying and selling NFTs can happen anywhere online, making it even more accessible.
So I could be browsing a website or scrolling through social media and buy an NFT right there.
Couple of clicks, that's it.
It's pretty mind-blowing how this technology is blurring the lines between the physical and digital worlds.
I agree. Feels like we're on the verge of a whole new digital renaissance.
It does.
But building a decentralized internet is a huge task.
Right.
There are going to be challenges along the way.
For sure. What are some of those? What hurdles does Solana face?
One of the biggest is just awareness and education. A lot of people are still unfamiliar with blockchain technology in general.
I can imagine.
So bridging that knowledge gap and showing people the real-world benefits of Web3, that's crucial.
It's almost like trying to explain the internet to someone who's never used a computer before.
Yeah. A bit like that.
Where do you even begin?
It's a challenge, but Just like the internet revolutionized communication and information sharing, Web3 has the potential to transform countless aspects of our lives.
Yeah.
Platforms like Solana are paving the way, but it's going to take a collective effort.
So education is key. What other challenges do you see?
Regulatory uncertainty is another big one. Governments around the world are still figuring out how to regulate cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology.
It's all so new.
This lack of clear guidelines can make businesses and investors hesitant.
Right, which is slow down adoption.
It's like navigating uncharted waters.
And the rules are constantly changing.
Exactly. However, as the industry matures and works with regulators, I think clear guidelines will emerge. This will create a more stable and secure environment for innovation.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Even with these challenges, it's hard not to be excited about the possibilities.
I agree.
It really feels like we're at the dawn of a new era.
It does, doesn't it? And with platforms like Solana leading the charge, the future of Web3 looks incredibly bright. But we have to remember, the real power of this technology is in its potential to empower individuals and create a more equitable and decentralized internet.
That's a vision worth fighting for.
Absolutely.
So for our listeners who are feeling inspired and want to explore this new frontier, where should they start? How can they get involved and help shape the future of Web3?
Great question. One of the best ways is to just start learning and experimenting. There are tons of resources online, from articles and videos to tutorials and developer tools.
So much information out there.
Even just reading through the Solana documentation and familiarizing yourself with different projects and communities, that's a great first step.
It's like taking that first step into a vast, uncharted territory.
Exactly.
Armed with curiosity and a thirst for knowledge.
For those who want to go even deeper, there are amazing communities of developers and enthusiasts who are happy to share their knowledge.
That's cool.
You can find online forums, Discord servers, even hackathons and conferences dedicated to Solana and Web3.
So many ways to connect.
It's like joining a global tribe of pioneers united by a shared vision.
That's powerful.
It is.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation.
Glad you think so.
But before we wrap up this deep dive, I have one final question. With all this talk about decentralization and empowering individuals, what does the future hold for Solana itself?
That's an excellent question. The beauty of decentralization is that the future of Solana isn't predetermined by any one person or group. It's a collective journey, shaped by the contributions of countless developers, validators, and users all over the world.
So it's constantly evolving.
Right, adapting and growing.
Based on the needs and desires of its community.
Precisely. As the Solana ecosystem grows, I think we'll see even more innovative dApps, creative uses for NFTs, and groundbreaking advancements in blockchain technology.
It's like witnessing the birth of a new digital nation.
I like that.
Built on transparency, security, and community ownership.
That's a powerful image. And as citizens of this new digital world, we have a unique opportunity to shape its destiny. The future of Solana isn't a set path, it's a blank canvas.
Wow, I love that.
Who knows what amazing things will be created in the years to come.
That's a perfect note to end on. The future is unwritten, and the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
But that's all the time we have for this part of our Solana deep dive.
Okay.
Stay tuned for the final part, where we'll explore Solana's potential for mass adoption and leave you with some things to think about. Welcome back for the final part of our Solana deep dives. We've covered so much ground already.
It's been quite a journey, hasn't it? Exploring the intricacies of this platform.
Throughout our conversation, the phrase built for mass adoption keeps popping into my head.
I can see why.
It feels like Solana is creating this, high-speed internet of the blockchain world.
I think that's a great way to put it. Solana's speed and those super low fees, they make it so attractive for both developers and everyday users.
Yeah, it really feels like we're at a tipping point where blockchain tech is going mainstream.
It does, doesn't it?
And when we talk about what makes Solana so fast and efficient, it all comes back to proof of history.
Yeah.
Remind us again how that works.
Sure. Proof of history, it's like having a super efficient timekeeping system, right?
Right.
It creates this verifiable record of every transaction.
Okay.
And establishes this clear order of events.
Got it.
This gets rid of a lot of the computational work that slows down other blockchains.
So that's how you get those faster transaction speeds and lower energy consumption.
Exactly. It's like a perfectly synchronized clock that keeps the entire network running smoothly.
I like that analogy.
Yeah. And this focus on speed and efficiency, it's not just about being technically impressive.
It's about making blockchain accessible to everyone.
Yeah, that's the key. If we want people to embrace Web3 and all its potential, It has to be easy to use and affordable.
Yeah, no one wants to wait forever for a transaction or pay outrageous fees.
Nobody has time for that.
Exactly. Solana gets that.
Which makes it so much more appealing.
Speaking of appealing, what about for developers? What's it like to build on Solana?
It's great. Solana has this really robust and developer-friendly ecosystem.
Okay, what does that mean?
Well, there's extensive documentation, active online communities, and a whole bunch of tools and frameworks that make development a breeze.
So it's like Solana's giving them this well-stocked toolbox and a supportive community
to help them bring their ideas to life.
That's awesome. And it really lowers the barrier to entry for building on Web3, right?
For sure. We're seeing this whole new wave of developers coming into the space, and they're empowered by platforms like Solana
to create things that we couldn't even imagine before.
That's the exciting part.
It's really inspiring to see how this technology, which once seemed so complicated, is now making innovation accessible to anyone with a good idea.
I agree. And as this ecosystem keeps growing, I think we're going to see an explosion of creativity,
leading to even more groundbreaking uses for blockchain.
Exactly.
I'm with you. I'm optimistic too. As we wrap up this deep dive into Solana, I think it's important to emphasize that it's not just about the tech itself.
You're right.
It's about the bigger vision behind it.
It's about the vision, absolutely. The real magic of Web3 is its potential to create a better internet, and Solana exemplifies that. Their commitment to open source development, community governance, and empowering individuals aligns perfectly with the core principles of Web3.
It's not just building a faster blockchain.
Right.
It's about building a better future.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So for our listeners who've been with us on this journey, what's your final message?
My message is this. Don't just watch this digital revolution happen. Be a part of it.
I love that.
Explore Solana, dive into their developer resources, and see what sparks your interest. The future of Web3 is being shaped right now, and we all have the opportunity to contribute.
That's a powerful call to action. Don't be afraid to experiment, learn, and build.
You might just create the next big thing.
The possibilities really are endless.
They are.
And on that note, we've reached the end of our Solana deep dive. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you've enjoyed exploring this fascinating world with us. Until next time, keep your minds curious and keep pushing those boundaries in this ever-evolving digital landscape.